passionate hatred for glitter. I was super upset by this scene. I didn't like it.
No
I also
kidding.
thought it was just really weak. I just thought it was a weak transition. That's all.
I mean,
Zoltar's so good. Go on, Steve.
I was gonna say, what can you think off the top of your head? What would have worked better, like a coconut falling out of a tree, or
well, it should have been something that was built into the fabric of the story. Like with Big, it felt like there was a reason that Zoltar was the vehicle, because the inciting incident for him wanting to be big was not being able to be big at the amusement park ride.
So it was just mystical enough.
Yeah. And then it was also a very tangible object to go search out later in the film for the solution, which Jennifer Garner really, after she got there, she's like, yeah, I shouldn't just worry about it at all. I'm just gonna edit this magazine for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There was no time limit. There was no sort of that part in Big work, because you knew that, okay, so at the beginning they say it's going to be 6 weeks. So they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do for 6 weeks? But maybe halfway through the third week, he's like actually sort of transitioning in a way to being an adult. And that part of it always kind of threw me for a loop. It's funny though, the night that he sleeps with Elizabeth Perkins' character, and the next morning he is full of adulthood. I mean, he comes out of that place and he's taking phone calls, and he still has the youthful exuberance, but you can tell he's grown up a bit after that, which most people do.
Sure.
Well, you saw the character development and the arc and his growth, and we didn't really see that with Jennifer Garner. In fact, I was confused the first time during the thriller flash mob. She was a really awkward, geeky teenager who wasn't super outgoing, and yet she gets at this party with all these adults, and she is confident and free and silly enough to solo go on the dance floor and start a thriller flash mob. It didn't even seem like it was the same character.
That's the thing. It's like she was playing not quite 13, but like 8. Like she was, it to me just sort of a personality of like somebody that just didn't have any inhibitions and was kind of willing to do whatever just to have fun, as opposed to, like you said, this very kind of awkward teenager who, didn't know what.
There's no way that young Jenna would have done that the way they set her up. So I was just kind of confused. For me, that's not Jennifer Garner's fault. That's just the writing fault.
Oh, it was not a good script.
That was you're right. And the end was kind of weird. It's kind of rushed. Like she runs out of the house, like, come with me. And then she opens the door. And when she opens the door, they're like now back at the same time, but now it's different because she's with him and they're getting married. And you're supposed to know, hey, I went back to be 13 again and changed my life, and this is where I ended up. There's so many pieces you kind of had to just be like, okay.
And the only thing that's different in her perfect life is that she has a man in it now. She doesn't have her job anymore. We don't know what
she does. We don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like all I needed was just like, what has she done with her own life now, as opposed to make it sort of what Mark Ruffalo's character wanted. They move into the house that he created. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking far more into it than I probably should.
Right.
Listen,
exactly. Yeah.
Zach, we all know that the only way that a woman can be happy is to get a man.
What?
Come on.